Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
My name is Martha. I never planned to become a stand-in mother at 24. Yet here I was at 29. My life measured not by milestones of my own, but by scraped knees, bedtime tantrums, and the endless rhythm of school lunches. Lillian's 3 children, Sammy, Chloe, and Lil Ava, looked to me for everything. Their mother, my sister, had vanished into night shifts after her sewing business collapsed, leaving on me the heavy burden of care. At first, I told myself it was temporary. A few months, maybe a year, until Lillian got back on her feet. But months stretched into years. My part-time job barely covered groceries, and my late-night digital marketing classes became a fog of half-remembered lectures. I was burning at both ends, and the wick was nearly gone. One evening, while folding the children's laundry, I whispered to myself, "I'm not their parent, I'm carrying someone else's load." The words hit like a confession, bitter and raw. Lillian breezed through the door near midnight, perfume and fatigue clinging to her. "You left dishes in the sink," she remarked flatly, dropping her bag on the couch. I swallowed hard. I had homework, and baths to give, and bedtime stories. "Forgive me if the plates remain unwashed." She rolled her eyes. "Drama, Martha, always drama." She never saw the dark circles under my eyes or the way my savings account bled dry. She saw only convenience, her children fed, her household intact, all at my expense. The worst moments were the quiet ones. Like when Chloe clutched my arm at parent-teacher night and whispered, "I'm glad you came, Aunt Martha. Mommy forgets." My throat closed up, tears threatening because I wasn't supposed to be filling that role. But if I didn't, who would? 5 years had passed in this limbo, each day tugging me further from the life I once imagined. My classmates advanced in their careers, flashing polished resumes and stories of new apartments. And me? I was still stuck in Lillian's shadow, holding together a family that wasn't mine. But something inside me had begun to stir, quiet but insistent. A warning, a promise, a hunger for freedom that could no longer be silenced. It was a Sunday morning, gray and heavy with drizzle. I was hunched over my laptop at the kitchen table, forcing myself through another online assignment when Lillian shuffled in, her face pale but glowing with a kind of reckless excitement. "I have news," she said, dropping into the chair across from me. Her boyfriend Dominic followed, his arm draped lazily over her shoulders. I braced myself. News from Lillian rarely ended well. "I'm pregnant," she announced, smiling like it was a gift to the world. "The 4th one." The words sliced through me. My chest tightened. I thought of the 3 little faces already depending on me for stability. I thought of the hours I had stolen from sleep, the dreams I had buried beneath grocery lists. And now, another child? "You can't be serious," I whispered, my voice cracked despite my effort to stay calm. Dominic leaned forward. "Look, Martha, you live here. You already help with the kids. It's only fair you pitch in more. Maybe quit that job of yours. It's not paying much anyway, and help where it really matters." I stared at him stunned. Quit my job. The job that was my lifeline, the only thing tethering me to the future I still believed I deserved. Lillian chimed in, softer but sharper, "And about rent, you should start contributing. It's not right for you to live here for free while we struggle." Tears blurred my vision. "Free?" I choked out. "I've given 5 years of my life, every ounce of energy, every dollar I could spare. And you call that free?" The silence that followed was suffocating. Chloe padded into the kitchen, rubbing her eyes. "Aunt Martha, are you okay?" she asked. I forced a smile, wiping quickly at my cheeks. "Yes, sweetheart. Go back to bed." But inside, I wasn't okay. Something broke that morning. The chains I had worn so long had begun to chafe raw. And for the first time, I realized, if I didn't act soon, there would be nothing left of me to save. After Lillian's announcement, sleep became a stranger. I lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling, feeling the walls close in. Each day at work, I scribbled numbers on scraps of paper, rent estimates, food costs, transportation. The figures frightened me, but the thought of staying frightened me more. One evening, after putting Ava to bed, I sat at the table with my worn notebook, calculating in shaky handwriting. I had just enough savings for a deposit on a small studio if I tightened every corner of my budget. Lillian appeared in the doorway, arms crossed. "What's all that?" "Just Planning, I muttered, covering the page with my hand. Planning what? You're not thinking of leaving, are you? You can't. The kids need you. Her tone dripped with practiced guilt. My chest ached. They need their mother, Lillian, not me. Her eyes narrowed. You're being selfish. After everything I've sacrificed, you'd abandon us now. The accusation cut deep. Tears welled, but I held her gaze. No, Lillian, I'm finally choosing myself. That's not selfish, it's survival. The days that followed were a blur of secret apartment viewings squeezed between classes and work shifts. I remember standing in one tiny studio, cracked tiles and a single window facing a brick wall. It wasn't much, but when I stepped inside, I felt something I hadn't in years: freedom. Back at the house, tension thickened. Dominic muttered about ungrateful freeloaders. Lillian left pamphlets about babysitting agencies on my bed as if to remind me of the role she expected me to play. But the more they schemed, the stronger my resolve grew. One night, Chloe crept into my room and whispered, "Aunt Martha, you look sad all the time. Are you leaving us?" My throat tightened. I brushed her hair back, fighting tears. "I'll never leave you. But I have to make a place for myself too. Do you understand?" She nodded slowly, though her eyes glistened. That moment nearly broke me, but it also sealed my decision. For the first time in 5 years, I could see the outline of a life that belonged to me, and I was determined to reach it. The closer I came to securing my own apartment, the more desperate Lillian grew. It was as though she sensed her grip slipping and clawed harder to hold me in place. One evening, I returned from work to find her and Dominic waiting in the living room. The children were already in bed, but the air felt poisoned with hostility. So, Dominic began, arms folded. "We hear you've been sneaking around looking at apartments. Care to explain?" My heart thudded. "It's not sneaking, Dominic. It's called moving forward. I need my own space." Lillian's voice cracked like a whip. "You're abandoning us. After all I've done for you, after letting you live here, eat our food, use our roof. You repay me like this." Tears blurred my vision. "Let me live here. I've raised your children, Lillian. I've given you 5 years of my life. Don't twist it." Her eyes burned with fury. "Those kids love you more than me, and you know it. You've been trying to steal them from me, haven't you?" The accusation landed like a slap. My knees weakened. "Steal them? They beg for attention, and when I give it, you call it theft. You're their mother, Lillian. I've only ever tried to fill the void you left." Silence stretched, broken only by the sound of my own shaky breathing. Finally, Lillian hissed, "If you walk out, don't expect to come back. Don't expect the kids to even remember you." Her cruelty hollowed me. I stumbled into my room, pressing a hand to my mouth to stifle sobs. For hours I sat there, trembling, caught between guilt and rage. Chloe's whispered question echoed in my ears. "Are you leaving us?" That night, I realized the chains weren't only the children or the house. They were the accusations, the twisted guilt, the belief that I owed my sister my very life. And if I didn't break free soon, I would lose myself entirely. The day I carried the last box out of Lillian's house, the sky seemed wider than I had ever seen it. My new studio apartment was small, barely large enough for the bed and desk I thrifted. But when I closed the door behind me, silence wrapped me like a gift. It was mine. At first, guilt clawed at me. Each time my phone buzzed with Lillian's bitter messages, traitor, selfish, ungrateful, my chest tightened. But I didn't answer. For once, I chose peace over poison. A week later, Lillian was hospitalized with pregnancy complications. Against every instinct, I stepped in, but this time on my own terms, helping the children after work, tucking them in, then leaving to return to my own home. When she recovered, she sneered, "Don't think I'll need you forever." I met her eyes calmly. "Maybe not, but I will never again need you to define my life." Months passed. My digital marketing clients grew, my confidence blossomed, and the children visited often, their laughter filling my tiny apartment. Lillian's life fell apart when Dominic left and she lost her job, while I flourished, finally living for myself. Lillian gave birth to her 4th child and finally experienced all the hardships and joys of motherhood. Freedom didn't just return my future, it returned me. For the first time in 5 years, I was living, not surviving, and I swore never to surrender that again.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.